Guess what we're doing today, Sebastian? We're studying coffee intake and word output. Welcome everybody to a Latte Word, where we sip some coffee and talk about words. Want the coffee, don't you? Yeah, definitely my son. He's gonna take my coffee, isn't he? So between Sebastian's 7-month sleep regression, sweltering UK heat, and his teething, none of us in this house have been getting much sleep, which means more coffee for Mama. That said, I was wondering if different types of coffee could affect my writing output in different ways. Yes, Sebastian, I know that it has nothing to do with how the espresso is made with the milk, and it's more to do with the content of the caffeine in the beans. And yes, there are 1,000,001 variables for this study that make it impossible to make it accurate. And no, nothing about what I'm about to do is going to make this even remotely scientifically accurate. But it's an excuse for more coffee. You're too young. No caffeine yet. So I decided to study 3 different types. The first was latte, obviously. Second was your good old filter coffee. And finally, I tried flat white because apparently they actually throw away the first 20 seconds of the espresso drip in order to make it naturally sweeter. And I'm wondering if that first 20 seconds has an effect on your caffeine intake. So really, maybe it's not so random and unscientific. And I did try other ways to make this a little bit more accurate. For example, I limited my writing time to just 20 minutes per session, mostly because of this guy. I also tried writing at the same time every day. Not that I think that really matters, but hey, whatever variables I can make the same, I'll make the same. Otherwise, the study is really just a free-for-all and completely inaccurate. That said, I invite you to try this study for yourself with your favorite types of coffee. So without further ado, let's get into what I did. And here we are at one of my favorite cafes. Sebastian is actually sleeping in his buggy right now. It's amazing. So for this one, I was doing the latte and I was just typing away. I went pretty fast actually. And in the end, I managed 446 words within 20 minutes. So I was actually pleasantly surprised by how well I did in 20 minutes. 446 words is not bad, even if it was really, really rough draft style and definitely not quality writing. At least I got some words on a page, which right now with this guy is a big one. Also, to be fair, it did help that he was sleeping for most of the time. Anyway, next we've got the filter coffee. Check out that fancy coffee pouring right there. And so I did this 20-minute session at home with homemade filter coffee, and I wasn't really worried about Sebastian for this one because he was fine playing on his own. And for this session, I got 400 words total, which is a little bit less than the last one, but I think it's still pretty okay. So my filter output was just barely less than the latte output, which was quite interesting because I kind of thought that the espresso would affect me a little bit more strongly than just regular old filter. And finally, we get to the flat white. And here we are in another one of my favorite coffee shops. This time, as you can see, Sebastian is wide awake and ready to play. And that made things quite difficult for me, as you're about to see. He's actually hitting the delete button on my keyboard. Here's the close-up of it. And slow motion. See that delete? Can you believe that? Seriously? So on flat white, I only managed about 250 words for this session. So if you take into account the fact that Sebastian was actively deleting my words as I wrote, then maybe the flat white wasn't such a bad output, but still there was a pretty significant difference between how much I was able to write with the flat white compared to the other two. Maybe you really do need that first few seconds of the espresso drip. Or it's all just completely random and there's way too many variables in the study to really say. I guess that means I need to try again. So is this a study that you would try? And if so, could you please tell me in the comments how it went for you? Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe below and let me know if you want me to continue these types of non-study studies. I'll be doing it anyway. Have a great day, everybody. Bye! Say bye, Sebastian.